On the morning of my 28th birthday, I woke up to silence. No messages, no calls, not even a lazy happy birthday text from my parents. It felt strange, but what shattered me came a few hours later, a family group post celebrating my sister's trip to Paris. "We're so proud of you, sweetie. You deserve it." My name wasn't mentioned once. They remembered her, not me. That was the day I realized I was never the daughter who made them proud, but I decided to change that forever. I've always been the quiet one in my family. My sister, Claire, was the golden child, charming, smart, the kind of person who lights up every room. I, on the other hand, was nice but ordinary. Growing up, birthdays were always big for her, decorations, cakes, friends, and gifts that cost more than my college tuition. Mine? A small dinner if they remembered, or a "we'll celebrate later" if they didn't. This year, I didn't expect much. But I did hope. I'd taken the day off work, baked myself a cake, and waited for someone, anyone, to call. Hours passed. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed. A notification from my mom, so proud of Claire. She's off to Paris for her new project. Our little star. That post got over 200 likes. My birthday? Not a single mention. My heart sank so deep, it felt like it would never rise again. Claire was the type of daughter parents bragged about. She went to an elite university, got a corporate job, and posted perfect pictures online. I chose a smaller college, became a social worker, and spent my days helping people instead of making money. "Why don't you be more like your sister?" was my mother's favorite phrase. "Claire just has drive, you know?" Dad would add with a sigh. Even during holidays, I'd hear, "Claire can't make it this year, she's busy." And somehow, that was always a valid excuse. But when I once missed Christmas because of a flu, I was disrespectful and cold-hearted. So when they forgot my birthday, it wasn't an isolated mistake. It was a lifetime of being invisible. That night, I blew out my candle alone and made a wish, not for love or attention, but for a way to show them what it felt like to be ignored. 2 weeks later, I found out that my parents had funded Claire's Paris trip. They'd paid for her tickets, hotel, even shopping money. All while pretending they couldn't afford to help me replace my car. It wasn't about the money. It was about the message. She mattered, I didn't. That night, I called my mom. I asked if she remembered what day 2 weeks ago was. She hesitated, then said, "Oh right. Your birthday, sorry, we've been so busy with Claire's plans." I hung up before I could say anything cruel. I was done begging for affection. Instead, I made a decision. I'd stop waiting to be part of their world, and start building my own. If they only respected success, then I'd give them something they couldn't ignore. I threw myself into my work. I took extra projects, helped raise funds for shelters, and soon became one of the youngest coordinators in our organization. Within a year, I was nominated for a national award for community service. But I didn't tell my family. Not yet. I wanted them to discover it the same way I discovered Claire's Paris trip, publicly. On the night of the award ceremony, my director posted a photo of me holding the plaque with the caption, "Proud of Diana, whose dedication to helping others has changed lives." It went viral in our local community. My inbox was flooded with congratulations. And then, my mom called. "Why didn't you tell us?" she asked, her tone a mix of pride and confusion. I simply replied, "I didn't think you'd care. You were busy celebrating Claire." A week later, my parents invited me for dinner. Claire had just returned from Paris, all smiles and souvenirs. I went, unsure what to expect. Dinner began awkwardly. Then my dad said, "We saw your award post, that was impressive." Claire chimed in, smirking, "Wow, didn't know volunteering came with trophies." That was it. I'd had enough. I looked straight at her. "Yeah, it does, when your work actually helps people." The table went silent. My mom tried to mediate, "Diana, don't ruin dinner." I smiled calmly. Don't worry, Mom. I'm not ruining anything. I'm just realizing that the only way I'll ever be seen in this family is if I become someone you can brag about. Then I stood up, placed my award on the table, and added, here. Now you have something else to post about. And I walked out. For the first time in my life, I felt free. After that night, I didn't hear from them for months. But slowly, something changed. My mom started liking my posts. My dad sent short texts, awkward but heartfelt. Even Claire reached out, asking for advice on volunteering. I realized then, sometimes revenge isn't about destroying others, it's about outgrowing them. I built a new circle of friends who celebrated me without conditions. My birthday the next year? A small dinner, a few close people, laughter, and peace. No fancy gifts, no comparison, just love. And when I saw my parents finally share my story on Facebook, calling me, our daughter, the changemaker, I didn't feel pride or anger. Just closure. They hadn't changed overnight, but I had. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is silence. Not to hurt, but to heal. I spent years chasing approval from people who couldn't see my worth. Now I realize, I never needed their validation. I just needed to believe in myself. If your family ever makes you feel invisible, remember this, your light doesn't dim just because they refuse to see it. Keep shining, quietly and fiercely. One day, they'll notice, but by then, you won't need them to.